Breaking news at 6. People sleeping in a hotel forced out into the street when fire breaks out.
Battleground Georgia, the neck-and-neck race between red and blue, bringing high-profile surrogates to the Peach State this week.
New at 6 a.m., brand new track with Tropical Storm Zeta. This storm will have a big impact here in Georgia. I'll show you where it makes landfall and when heavy rain moves into our state.
The Senate is doing the right thing.
Confirmation Day. The Senate votes on a new Supreme Court justice today.
Cash app scams. Better Call Harry shows you how you can protect yourself.
From CBS 46 News, this is Wake Up Atlanta.
Good morning. It's Monday, October 26th. Thanks for starting your week with us. We have a lot to get to. A live look at Washington, D.C., where a huge vote is happening hours from now to confirm a new Supreme Court justice. Thanks for watching Wake Up Atlanta. I'm Rob Hughes.
Good morning. I'm Gravier Dinta. Yes, we do have a lot of news to get to this morning. First, though, we want to get to Rodney Harris. Another traffic alert for us. Rodney, it's foggy outside. I'm wondering if that's impacting the roads.
Whatever it is, it's causing a lot of traffic alerts. Gavir, Rob, we are on I-20 eastbound at Thornton Road. An overturned Jeep here has you significantly delayed as you come out of Douglas County, headed toward Cobb County, headed toward Atlanta this morning. So a heads up to you. I am tracking that. If you are waking up and headed out in Cobb and Gwinnett counties going southbound, you're good to go. But I-20 east at Thornton delays. We'll keep you up to date on this. Now check on your forecast with Ella.
Here's what we're talking about. Take a live look over. This is usually the Midtown skyline. Right now you can't see a single thing. This fog is really becoming pretty dense. Not only inside the perimeter, but outside the perimeter too. So Paulding County, Dallas area, Peachtree City, Noonan County, and even Gwinnett County seeing some dense fog. We've had multiple accident reports really throughout the entire newscast this morning. So give yourself extra time if you have to be on the roadways this morning. That fog should last until around 9 a.m. It will clear, but it will give way to pretty cloudy skies. It's going to be a gloomy day today. It will be mild with temperatures in the 60s to low 70s. No rain today. That all changes later this week with Tropical Storm Zeta. I'll show you where this storm will make landfall and the big impact it has right here at home in the next half hour.
Okay, Ella, thank you. Breaking news at 6. Fire breaks out in a local hotel, forcing dozens to evacuate in the middle of the night. This is happening at the Oyo Hotel in DeKalb County on Wesley Club Drive. Astrid Martinez is working the scene, talking with people who are now left without a place to stay. That fire started on the side of the building, and Astrid actually spoke with the hotel manager. He said the hotel was replacing some water lines all over, and all the rest of the people were staying on the opposite end of the building. But because of the renovations, guests say they did not have smoke detectors in their rooms. And the guests actually had to alert each other to keep them from succumbing, or I guess dealing with the flames there. And a number of the people you can see in this video still waiting around outside. A lot of them have lost their belongings in this fire, but there are no injuries to speak of, and that is the good news. We will be following this all morning long. We'll have a live report coming up.
Rob read it.
All right, we will be going live to that scene sometime in the next half hour for you, just to bring you up to date on what's happening there. In the meantime, let's bring you up to date on election 2020. We've now just got days to go until Election Day, and the woman who could be the next First Lady is coming to Georgia. Dr. Jill Biden is set to visit Macon and Savannah. That comes just one day before her husband, the Democratic nominee for president, Joe Biden, comes to Atlanta. That'll be on Tuesday. Their visits coming as the final week of early voting kicks off. The number of voters at the polls and those submitting absentee ballots still beating what we saw in 2016. Trayson Bragg is breaking down the new numbers that are literally making history. Trayson.
That's right. Making history is exactly what they're doing, Gavir. The polls actually open here at 8 this morning, and you can count on one thing. There will be voters showing up in record numbers. Since the first day of early voting, October 12th, Georgians have done two things: vote and set early voting records. Officials say more than 2.7 million ballots have been cast in our state since that first day of early voting. That's more than double the entire number of early votes cast back in 2016, they say. And you can count on one thing: voters in our now swing state aren't done at the polls yet.
You got to vote. I mean, this is the only right that we have that the rich and powerful haven't taken away. So vote like your life depends on it.
Well, and that's exactly what Georgia voters are doing. Coming up later this morning, the Secretary of State here in the state of Georgia is actually holding a press conference. That's Brad Raffensperger. He's going to be addressing early voting numbers and voting moving forward. So you can count on CBS 46 to be there. And at 6:30, I'll give you a sneak peek at what election officials are doing with all those record-setting early votes. Reporting live in Gwinnett County, I'm Trayson Bragg, CBS 46 News.
All right, we're looking forward to that. Trayson, thank you. Happening today, the Senate will move forward to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Senators met for a rare weekend session to debate the nomination of President Trump's Supreme Court pick. They voted largely along party lines to end debate and move forward. For weeks now, Democrats have called on Senate Republicans to postpone the confirmation until after the election. Okay, right now at 6 a.m., we're keeping an eye on today with the stories you need to know.
Today, Senator David Perdue is going to get a campaign boost with a familiar face from the Trump administration. Former White House press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders is campaigning for Senator Perdue. She'll be in Gwinnett County at the Arena Tavern in Duluth.
The Democrat challenging Senator Perdue, John Ossoff, will be campaigning in Athens today. He's set to hold an outdoor Get Out the Early Vote event alongside Athens Mayor Kelly Girtz and State Representative Spencer Fry.
A driver suspected of killing a teen and a baby in a violent crash is facing a long list of charges. Police arrested this man, 28-year-old Shamir Floyd, over the weekend, nearly 1 month ago. They say he slammed into 3 cars in Midtown while trying to escape state troopers.
Marietta police need your help identifying a motorcyclist they say is taunting them. They say the motorcyclist will run red lights and speed right in front of officers. Police believe the motorcycle is most likely a Suzuki GSX-R between 2006 and 2009 model.
And today, a new Red Cross blood donation center is opening its doors in Conyers. They're going to be, of course, these donations can be life-saving. The Red Cross is offering $5 Amazon gift cards to donors who stop by before November 11th.
All right, Ella, what are you tracking this week? I know it's a busier week than the first couple on our new morning show, huh?
Yeah, it is. We're going to see a lot of rain later this week, but I wanted to tell you that even though the weather here isn't going to be great, it could always be worse. Take a look at the Midwest where it is snowing, it is cold, it is windy. So yeah, we're dealing with some clouds and fog here this morning. But we live in the South for a reason. This is it. Look at your temperatures through the morning. They're going to stay very mild. They will not dip into the 50s, stay in the 60s. So a light jacket will be all you need today, and your patience on the roadways. That fog lifts, but really it's going to stay pretty gloomy today. Mostly cloudy skies, temperatures near 70 degrees, maybe a shower or two, but overall dry conditions. Here is the most updated track of Tropical Storm Zeta just sent to us by the National Hurricane Center. It will make landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula as a Cat 1 hurricane, looks like tonight. Then it continues into the Gulf of Mexico, making landfall once again very close to New Orleans sometime on Wednesday as a Cat 1 hurricane. Between Thursday and Friday, it will sweep right over North Georgia, and that's going to bring us a ton of rain. The majority of that rain looks like it will be Wednesday and Thursday. Now, right now, we are in the bullseye for 3 to 4 inches of rain. If this track were to shift slightly north or west, we could be taken out of the bullseye. But at this point, you need to plan, especially if you live north of Atlanta, on a ton of rain and the potential for flash flooding. And once again, this will be Wednesday and Thursday. So anything you need to do, all of your chores, try to get them done today or tomorrow. You won't want to be on the roadways here. I will break down more on this storm system and have a look at your trick-or-treat forecast coming up here in around 10 minutes or so. We got to check in on some pretty treacherous roads this morning. Rodney.
Yeah, Ella, our traffic alert continues. You mentioned the fog a little bit earlier. This is like the 3rd major traffic alert this morning. We're on I-20 eastbound at Thornton Road in Douglas County. There was an overturned Jeep here, which has you delayed as you go into Cobb County, headed toward Atlanta this morning. So an alert again in Douglas County as you go eastbound. A real-time speed tracker has you going to get less than 20 miles per hour. There is yet another traffic alert in Rockdale County. A heads up for those of you who take the 138 bridge. That is closed in both directions because of a crash investigation right around I-20. So a heads up for those of you in Conyers. We'll keep you up to date on both of these incidents and have more weather and traffic coming up for you in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, certainly not the way you want to start off a Monday morning, Rodney, thanks. Well, this morning a 15-year-old girl is back home with her family after she was brutally attacked by dogs. Over the weekend, friends and neighbors welcomed Jocelyn Stinchcomb back home with a big parade. You can see Jocelyn still has her head wrapped up. In July, she was attacked by a pair of pit bulls. Community members have been praying for her recovery since.
It's a blessing. God is still working miracles. I love how all of us just can come together as one.
I'm so happy, I'm so glad, and we need to pray together. I'm glad she's home.
Dozens of supporters welcomed her home, and certainly all of us here at CBS 46 wish her the best as she continues her recovery. Good to see her home, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It is 9 minutes after 6, and thousands of students in one district are getting ready right now to head back to class this morning.
And that return comes as medical professionals discuss the effectiveness of random COVID testing in schools. We'll break it down.
It's the interview that voters have been talking about for days now. The president walking out on 60 Minutes. Ahead, a look at what led to it and what the president is saying about suburban women.
I'm about to send some money on Cash App, but what happens if I send it to the wrong person or I get caught up in a scam? Am I protected? Are you? Better Call Harry is coming up.
And we hope you join us in honoring service members today as we mark the National Day of the Deployed. It's easy to say thanks. You can donate to military organizations like the USO, send a care package to those stationed overseas, or just reach out and talk to a military family.
You're watching CBS 46 News, getting results.
Breaking traffic alert in Douglas County. Good news here after delays, which still continue on I-20 eastbound at Thornton Road because of an overturned Jeep. The lanes have now started to open back up over the past 60 seconds, so we are looking better here. We'll have another update coming up in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Rodney, thank you. CBS 46 is your school authority as Henry County moves into phase 4 this morning and high school students there return to in-person learning. CBS 46's Rebecca Schramm joins us live in Henry County this morning. She's digging into one group's idea of random COVID testing as a way to pinpoint and contain the spread of coronavirus. And Rebecca, we've seen this kind of testing implemented at colleges, but you're saying this is happening elsewhere as well.
Well, they'd like for it to. The group, Rob, is using schools as an example, public schools, as a place of where this could happen. Let's take Henry County schools, for example. High schools like Eagles Landing, where we are, open today for in-person learning, marking the last phase of the transition for those who chose to come back. According to this group that represents medical colleges, the best way to handle COVID testing is, instead of only focus on getting the people tested after they start to feel sick, you test a sampling of everybody. It's common in schools for faculty to take students' temperature before allowing them inside, but according to the CDC, sometimes people with no symptoms can spread the virus.
And so having testing as an absolutely essential component.
Heather Pierce of the Association of American Medical Colleges says it's why her organization is calling for a coordinated national testing strategy. The group says the U.S. should be testing 10 times the number of people it's testing now, suggesting as many as 800,000 diagnostic tests are needed each day for people who either have symptoms, have been exposed to someone with a positive case, or are at high risk. The group says the U.S. should also be conducting screening tests on more than 8 million asymptomatic people each day.
We need to implement a screening program where we are routinely testing K-12 teachers, students, EMTs, paramedics, people in nursing homes, students and faculty at college campuses, so that we know where the virus is and can take swift action before we get a huge number of cases.
And she says that much testing will require dedicated funding. It will also require continued investments in technology and test development. We're live in Henry County this morning. Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
You know, random testing makes sense to me. Every time I walk into some place, maybe get my hair cut and they take my temperature, I wonder, what if I'm just an asymptomatic carrier? Rebecca, thank you very much.
Right.
Revere?
Trending this morning, tens of thousands of people are talking about President Trump's 60 Minutes interview. He actually cut that interview short when he walked out.
Excuse me, Leslie, you started with me. Your first statement was, "Are you ready for tough questions?"
Are you?
That's no way to talk. It's no way to talk. I think we have enough of an interview here, Hope. Okay, that's enough. Let's go.
Leslie Stahl had been asking the president about his tweets and how he often calls the media fake. Now, before he walked out, the president was also asked about his support among suburban women.
You said the other day to suburban women, will you please like me, please, please?
Oh, I didn't say that. You know, that's so misleading the way I say jokingly, suburban women, you should love me because I'm giving you security and I got rid of the worst regulation.
But the president went on to explain that he was actually courting women voters in a joking way, and he denied recent polls that show his support among suburban women is dwindling.
A historic promotion for Atlanta's former Archbishop. Archbishop Wilton Gregory is set to become the first African American to assume the rank of cardinal in the Catholic Church. Archbishop Gregory currently serves as Washington, D.C.'s Archbishop. As cardinal, he'll be able to vote for the next pope. Archbishop Gregory led the church's zero-tolerance policy on priests accused of sex abuse. He's also been an outspoken leader for racial justice.
It is just about 18 minutes after 6, and it's been a busy traffic morning for a lot of folks. Rodney Harris is keeping track of what is going on out there on Interstate 20. Rodney, what a mess.
Yeah, Gavir, so this is a brand new traffic alert. This is not what I showed you about 5 minutes ago, but we're still in Douglas County. This is still impacting you in Douglasville, but now a brand new crash on I-20 East at Lee Road. So the first crash was past Douglasville. This is before you get to Douglasville, but just the same, look at that traffic. So a heads up, as you go eastbound through Douglasville, you are definitely having to slow down here. This is actually complete standstill. We'll keep you up to date on this, but again, I-20 East at Lee Road going into Douglasville, you are now delayed. More traffic to come, but now here is a check of your forecast. And Ella,
Yes, we are emphasizing to give yourself extra time on the roadways this morning with that dense fog all across Metro, and it will be in place through sunrise, which is not until nearly 8 a.m. So the next 2 hours on the road, you're probably going to have reduced visibility. That fog lifts, it gives way to cloudy skies through the day. It will be a pretty gloomy start to the week, and it will be mild. I would consider a light jacket on your way out the door this morning. Temperatures will only top out near 70 degrees. Most areas, again, will be sitting near 70 or in the upper 60s through the afternoon. I'm going to go with a forecast high of 70, which, by the way, we are Atlanta's most accurate forecast because we have gotten the high temperature within 3 degrees 33 days in a row. That's why you got to keep it right here on CBS 46 for your forecast. Tropical storm Zeta sitting in the Caribbean. It is strengthening. Sustained winds are 70 miles per hour. It's likely to become a hurricane later today, making landfall in Louisiana on Wednesday. The impact it will have here, well, we start to see bands of heavy showers as early as Wednesday morning. On and off rain through the day on Wednesday. And then as the center of this storm moves right across North Georgia on Thursday, it's going to bring us rounds of very heavy rain, and that will last pretty much through the entire day on Thursday. So once again, at this point, landfall is expected near New Orleans on Wednesday. Heavy rain is forecast for us here in Georgia on Wednesday and Thursday. Those will be the big impact days, and flash flooding is a high possibility, especially if you live north of Atlanta. So you're going to want to plan for this. This is going to have a big impact on the middle of your week. After that rain moves out, look what happens to temperatures. They drop into the 60s. So by the time Halloween rolls around this weekend, it will feel a lot more like the fall season. High of 64 degrees, mostly sunny skies on Halloween itself. Don't forget, we fall back this Saturday night. That means sunset will be quite a bit earlier, 5:45 p.m. starting on Sunday. So enjoy the longer days, if you will, while they're here.
We'll do it. Ella, thank you. It's now 6:20, and you know, a lot of us rely on cash sharing apps like Venmo and Zelle because they're pretty easy to use and they're convenient too.
They're also convenient and easy for scammers, though. So Better Call Harry looks at what you need to consider before hitting that send button. Part of the Fox Theater will turn into a pop-up bar for the holidays. The Christmas-themed company Miracle will occupy the Fox's Marquee Club from Thursday, November 20th through New Year's Day. Well, how many times this week have you used your Cash App account or Venmo or Zelle? I know I used my Venmo yesterday. Better Call Harry getting lots of complaints about users losing money.
So if you think you're protected, Harry's about to open your eyes.
Money transfer platforms like Cash App are great until you pay the wrong person or you get caught up in a scam, but that's okay because you're protected, right? Wrong. A quick keyword search for Cash App in my emails proves the point. Here's one. Hello, I've been a victim of a Cash App scam today and was wondering if there was any way you could help me. I wish we could, but when it comes to Cash App or Zelle or Venmo, there are literally no consumer protections in place. Think of it this way. You are handing over cash, and the scam artists and criminals know it.
I'm learning, and sad to say I'm learning the hard way.
Joseph Walton got a $3,000 payment from his sister. He believes someone got access to his Cash App account and stole the money before he could transfer the balance to his bank. We have 3 simple rules. 1, only pay people you know. 2, set up 2-factor authentication. And finally, if it's a large amount of money, do a test run for $1 to make sure they got it. I'm Better Call Harry, CBS 46 News.
That's good advice. I know I always pay really close attention to who I send it to, just because I'm so nervous of sending someone else money.
Right?
Yeah. The time is 6:26, I should say, this morning. And breaking news: while you were sleeping, flames forcing people out of a hotel in DeKalb County.
We're going to be live at the scene where dozens stood outside overnight.
And a classic returning to the airwaves. Finally, a look at how The Price is Right is starting off with a bang.
Hey, breaking traffic alert this morning. Major delays in Douglas County I-20 eastbound. A complete traffic report is just moments away.
Breaking news, crews rush to the scene of a hotel fire as people are forced out of their rooms. A live report on what some guests told us about safety concerns.
8 days to Election Day and your final week to take part in early voting. The new record-breaking numbers both here in Georgia and across the country.
And Confirmation Day. We're just hours away from the U.S. Senate voting to appoint a new Supreme Court justice.
From CBS 46 News, this is Wake Up Atlanta.
And we are so glad you're waking up with us on this Monday morning. It's October 26th. I'm Gervier Dinza.
And I'm Rob Hughes. Already a busy morning. And now Rodney Harris has an update on a breaking traffic alert he's been working this hour. Rodney, it's been a really crazy and hectic morning.
Yeah, Rob, Gervier, just one traffic alert after the other. So Douglas County, Douglasville, you were on deck here. I-20 eastbound at Lee Road. So this is for those of you going into Douglasville. As you can see, there's no movement here eastbound. So this is basically all lanes blocked. You'll want to use Highway 78 going eastbound this morning instead of I-20 as you go into Douglasville. If you are in Cobb County or Gwinnett County and you are going southbound, you are good to go, no delays, but still watching Douglas County, Ella. A lot of fog this morning, and these are not small alerts. They're producing some major delays.
Major accidents. We're telling you over and over and over, be very slow on the roadways. Give yourself extra time this morning. And here's why. Take a live look. This is usually the Midtown Skycam. Can't see anything right now. We're seeing visibility way down, not only inside the perimeter, but outside. Look at Carrollton, half a mile, Griffin, 1 mile. So even if you live outside and you live in those smaller areas, definitely be slow on the roadways. Sunrise is not until almost 8 a.m. So the fog will continue to be dense at least until then. Because of that, I think the whole morning commute, you're going to deal with that fog. Your way home from work should be much better. It will be cloudy, but it will be dry. I would grab a light jacket on the way out the door. Temperatures will hover in the 60s through the day, maybe topping out at 70 degrees. Our main story, though, is what's going to happen later this week. Tropical storm Zeta in the Caribbean. Can you believe it? Another storm system. It will reach hurricane strength. It will make landfall in the United States. It will have a big impact here at home. I'll break it all down in the next half hour.
Ella, thanks. Breaking news right now at 6:30. People staying in a local hotel woke up to fire and they had to scramble out into the streets in the middle of the night. It's happening at the Oyo Hotel in DeKalb County. It's on Wesley Club Drive. Our Astrid Martinez is talking with some of the folks that were staying there as well as hotel management. Astrid, how terrifying for these people.
Oh, absolutely an awful thing to wake up to, and we still have people this morning without a place to stay. They're staying right now in their cars waiting to see what's next, and we know that actually the fire started in this side of the building, but because of renovations, the manager had most of the guests stay here on this side, and because of those renovations, guests tell us that many of the rooms did not have smoke detectors, and because of that, they were left without many of their belongings. This fire broke out shortly after midnight. You can see clouds of smoke and huge flames coming from the building. It took several fire trucks to put out the blaze. The flames quickly spread from the first floor to the third floor. As a result, nearly 40 people are without a place to stay this morning. We spoke with a guest at the hotel. She tells me she was the one who alerted the front office to the fire after seeing smoke. According to her, several rooms don't have smoke detectors since the hotel was under renovations, so guests had to warn each other about the fire.
This door and told them it was a fire, and they came out and proceeded accordingly. So we then continued to knock on the doors and tell everybody to get out, grab what you can and come on and get out. And then the heroes pulled up.
And as you can see right now, Red Cross is still on the scene. They're talking with guests of the hotel. They've been helping them all morning long find a new place to stay. Now, as for the cause of the fire, well, that is still under investigation. Back to you guys.
All righty, Astrid, thank you. Happening today, Dr. Jill Biden coming to Georgia. She'll campaign on her husband's behalf in both Macon and Savannah. Tomorrow, Mr. Biden himself comes to Georgia. He's expected to host an event in Warm Springs and hold a drive-through event here in Atlanta.
It's the most important election of my lifetime.
Do you think a lot of these folks you're driving, it means the same to them?
Because people are hurting. People are afraid. We hope by voting that it will make a difference.
CBS's Mark Strassman talking to voters in Georgia about why it's so important to vote this upcoming election. Our state is one of 3 battleground states in the election. A CBS poll tracker finds Biden with an edge over President Trump in Florida. Biden also leads in North Carolina, but the 2 candidates are tied in Georgia. And CBS's Mark Strassman is live here in Georgia. Coming up on CBS this morning, it starts at 7 right after Wake Up Atlanta. And as the clock ticks toward Election Day, this is the last week of early voting, and Georgians continue to set records. CBS 46's Trayson Bragg is in Gwinnett County with new numbers and what's happening today. Trayson, it's been a couple weeks of big, long lines across polling locations in the Atlanta metro. What are you seeing this morning?
That's right, Rob. Well, the lines aren't as long here as they were in Cobb County last week, but look, it's early. We're still an hour away, or roughly about 40 minutes away from the polls opening here, and we have a line here. Voters doing what they've done since the start of early voting, showing up and making sure their vote is counted. The number of early votes continue to pile in record fashion throughout the state of Georgia. Early voting began 14 days ago, back on October 12th, and since that day, officials say Georgians continue to leave 2016's early voting numbers in the dust. They say more than 2.7 million ballots have been cast. That's more than double the entire number of early votes cast back in 2016.
What we cannot do is tally or tabulate the votes. So they're scanned and they sit in the file until we can push them across until after 7 on Election Day.
Now, coming up later this morning at 10 a.m., Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger will be holding a press conference where he will be addressing early voting, the numbers, and moving forward to Election Day. You can count on CBS 46 News to be there and tell you exactly what he had to say. Reporting live in Gwinnett County, I'm Trayson Bragg, CBS 46 News.
Yeah, it's certainly crunch time for anybody who wants to get out there and vote early. All right, Trayson, thank you for that. Now at 6:30, we're keeping an eye on today with the stories you need to know.
Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation as a Supreme Court justice is expected today. This comes after Senate Republicans voted overwhelmingly on Sunday to advance President Trump's nominee. Democrats had pushed for the Supreme Court to be decided after the election.
Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler's tested negative for COVID-19 after learning that 2 of her Washington, D.C. staffers had contracted the virus. Her office says the senator is still planning on taking part in the confirmation for Amy Coney Barrett today.
In Gwinnett County today, former White House press secretary and advisor to the president, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, will be campaigning for Georgia Senator David Perdue. The rally will take place at Arena Tavern in Duluth around 4:40 this afternoon.
Atlanta's former Archbishop Wilton Gregory is set to become the first African American to assume the rank of cardinal in the Catholic Church. Archbishop Gregory currently serves as Washington, D.C.'s Archbishop. As cardinal, he'll have a vote on the selection of the next pope.
The Atlanta Falcons so close, yet so far. The Detroit Lions taking it down to the final seconds with a miracle finish for them, winning 23-22. This is the first loss for Falcons interim head coach Raheem Morris, now 1-1. Falcons take on the Carolina Panthers this Thursday. Now over to Rodney with an alert in the traffic center. Rodney, it's been a busy morning for you, man.
It has been, Rob. Breaking traffic alert continues in Douglas County. I've switched our cameras here. We're right up on the crash now. I-20 eastbound at Lee Road. This is heading into Douglasville. Still seeing major delays because of this crash. Check out this trip time. This is from Chapel Hill Road to the connector right now going eastbound on I-20. 1 hour. That's how long it's taking you to go eastbound. So I would highly recommend using Highway 78 this morning instead of I-20 because of what was really 2 crashes on I-20 in Douglas County. Also, as a reminder, Rockdale County, Conyers, Highway 138 still completely closed in both directions at I-20 because of a crash investigation. So a heads up to you. We'll keep you up to date on the roads and we'll have more traffic to come. But now here is a check of your forecast. Hey, happy Monday.
I mean, this is the Mondayest of Monday, both on the roadways and for your forecast. So grab the extra coffee. Maybe go ahead and open a bottle of wine. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh!
You know what you are going to need? Your patience this morning with very dense fog in some areas. It's been causing problems on the roadways all morning. That should lift by around 10 a.m., but it's going to stay cloudy through the day. High temperatures only near 70, so light jacket probably going to suit you well through the day today. Tropical storm Zeta, very strong tropical storm, likely to reach hurricane strength. It's in the Caribbean. It will become a hurricane later today. crossing the Yucatan Peninsula, very similar to the way that Beta traveled just a few weeks ago. It will travel back into the Gulf of Mexico, making landfall in Louisiana on Wednesday. Our rain chances increase significantly by Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday are going to be the big impact days for us here in Georgia. And it looks like right now, if this storm takes its current track, we are going to be in the bullseye for very heavy rain, 3 to 5 inches just from Wednesday to Thursday. What that means is flash flooding is going to be a very high possibility for North Georgia. So what can you do? Well, get your chores done today or tomorrow. You'll want to be off the roadways on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll show you its current track and break down more of what you could expect, how this will impact Halloween coming up here in around 7 minutes.
Okay, Ella, thank you. It is 6:40 this morning. The holiday hiring season begins.
Coming up next, the information you need to know if you or somebody you know is looking for a job for the holidays.
Come on down!
Doesn't get old. CBS's most popular game show, The Price is Right, is back this week. But get ready to see a lot of changes because of the pandemic.
Thanks for making CBS 46 the fastest growing news in Atlanta.
Breaking traffic alert continues this morning in Douglas County. I-20 eastbound at Lee Road as you go into Douglasville. There is a crash that has major delays as you go from Chapel Hill to the connector this morning eastbound on I-20. Your trip time now more than 1 hour. We will keep you up to date on this and have more traffic to come.
That's not how you want to start your Monday. Rodney, thank you. As is all things 2020, the holiday shopping season and gifting season is going to be a bit different this year. With so many relying on online shopping, you're going to want to send off those gifts as soon as possible. One FedEx executive says with the pandemic, they've seen shipping volumes at peak Christmas or Cyber Monday levels every day. And that's why one expert says you should get your gifts shipped by December 1st if you want them opened on Christmas Day.
So all the procrastinators out there, gotta
Get a head
snap
start.
to it, right? All right, starting today, JCPenney stores are looking to hire thousands of seasonal employees to work in stores for the holidays. All stores are hosting hiring events today through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you're interested, you need to apply online to be scheduled for phone interviews. You can also walk into any store for an interview with a manager. You do have to wear a mask.
The Price is Right is about to return to your TVs for the first time since March, but with some major changes. For one thing, no studio audience. Also new, host Drew Carey grew a very impressive beard. We'll call it impressive during the break. You'll still hear "come on down," but potential contestants will be backstage and will come out when they hear their names. What you won't see is those excited contestants hugging Drew Carey.
Yeah, nobody's picking me up and swirling me around. But I liked, high-fiving people, and I liked hugs and, none of that anymore, man.
And this week, the Audience Free Show will premiere with a primetime special right here on CBS 46 tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Carey says it's important to bring some fun even in the middle of a pandemic. And we've seen it all. We've seen SNL without live studio audiences, so why not Price is Right? Huh?
Right. And I can tell you, Rob, I have been on set there. I was on set there at The Price is Right right before the pandemic started. And that's what they specialize in, is bringing the fun. So I can't wait for the modified version.
Come on down.
Come on down.